And you're listening to a Token Nerd Network podcast. 3, 2, 1. Where we ramble on about geeky things. Things ranging from Batman to pop figures to Star Wars.
From Token Nerd Podcast.
Stay spicy, my friends. Hey everybody, welcome to Token Nerd Podcast, where we ramble on about geeky things ranging from Batman to pop figures to Star Wars. I'm Anthony Pettiford.
And I'm Addison Lee.
Alright guys, happy Valentine's Day. I know this is coming to you on, I think this is going to go up on February 14th? No, 15th, because today is Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day is the 14th. Okay, but I'm going to try to get this up as quickly as possible. I'm pretty sure this is going up on YouTube on the 15th. So happy day after Valentine's Day to my YouTube listeners. But for the rest of you on Podbean and YouTube or iTunes, happy Valentine's Day. All right, so let's just cut to the chase. This whole podcast is going to be based on the review of Lego Batman, which came out over the weekend. Can you, Addison, tell me how it did box office wise?
Sure. So the weekend box office, Lego Batman brought in over $53 million.
53, and
It was number one with 50 Shades Darker with 46 right behind it.
okay.
And John Wick Chapter 2 with 30 million.
And this is John Wick's third or second weekend?
First weekend.
Oh, it is the first weekend?
All these movies came out this week.
Oh, I don't know why I thought John Wick 2 has been out for a while. Probably because
Nope.
they've really been like pushing the promotion for it.
Yeah, they all three of these films came out this week.
Okay. Wow. Well, number one, let's bring into focus that 50 Shades Darker is a sequel, but it's also a sequel of a bad movie. And even if you were a fan of this franchise, it's an R-rated movie.
Well, also Lego Batman is technically a sequel, spin-off, really.
Yes.
So.
Okay, you're right.
So they
I can't
all,
argue there.
All three of these films belong to a franchise.
But it's original. Yeah, they are all sequels.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Both John Wick did really well. The first
did.
one, people loved it, but people weren't aware of it the first time.
Well, they let the first trailer out like maybe a month before.
No,
the
I mean
movie.
like the original John Wick. People didn't know it was going to be good. They just thought it was, John Wick I never saw it, but for the base of what it was just like the Raid almost. I heard.
No,
too.
it's just kind of like a classic revenge action movie. Like you don't care too much about the story. You just like watching the action, and you like watching Keanu Reeves kill a lot of people.
All right. So, but in that case, with 50 Shades Darker, it's an R-rated movie that I hear is borderline. Is it? What's after that? It's XX or
NC-17.
NC-17. So, but from what I heard, they're just like people have told me that it was just bad. It had a lot of hiccups in the movie, but this isn't about 50 Shades Darker.
Nope.
This is about Lego Batman, which we mentioned isn't a sequel, but it's a spin-off of the original Lego movie. Now, I think it was in
12?
No, it was 2013. 2013, 2014 is when Lego movie came out. And then I think 2015 they announced that they were going... Shoot, was it 15 or was it 16 that they announced that they were going to do a Lego Batman and then the Lego movie 2?
Well, Lego movie came out in 14.
All right, 14. So about 15, 16, they announced that they were going to do Lego Batman as a spinoff because Lego Batman was a main character in the original Lego movie. And he was like the standout character. People loved him. People were saying that he was one of the best on-screen Batman that we've had so far. And when they announced this, I mean, he's voiced by Will Arnett, so I want to put that out there. I have to say that I wasn't too thrilled with the idea of a Lego Batman. I thought we were really reaching. Lego movie worked, Lego movie was good, but we can't do a whole movie based on Lego Batman. But then this movie came out and I was completely wrong. This movie was Batman nostalgia. It hit everything from mostly the animated series. Hardcore took from the animated series with the introduction of not introduction, but they showed Condiment King. But he was in the Lego Batman games as well. We saw
Killer Moth, Crazy Quilt.
Egghead. He
Yep.
was from the '66 Batman. They did. I'm trying to think of what other big reference. Their Bane
Yep.
was, it was Venom Bane, but he had the voice like Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the voice. It's close. Don't give me that face. But no. So I don't know. There were just a bunch of Easter eggs. Billy D. Williams was Two-Face, and his Two-Face was actually pretty cool looking.
It was his skull.
I know, but it's Billy D. Williams. Shut up. It's cool. It's
but
cool.
he wasn't.
Shut up. It's cool.
He wasn't Two-Face. He was like ripped face. Like it almost looked like they just ripped his skin off half of his face.
The same thing happened in the
He still had skin though.
and then Nolan.
He still had skin, and I didn't say I liked that version of Two-Face either.
Yeah, you could see his jaw. All right, but we can go back and forth on this. So, in this follows Lego Batman as he's just the awesome character. It has the same kiddie feeling of Lego Batman. I mean, it's all funny.
Lego movie.
Or Lego movie, thank you. It follows like the first action scene is a plane's getting ready to crash and it has all these bombs on it. The Joker has this plan that he's going to attack Gotham with all the villains of the Batman universe, and they're going to collapse Gotham City into this bottomless void because underneath the plates of Legos, there's nothing. Kind of like they mentioned in the Lego movie.
Where it goes to the real world.
Yeah. But so they're talking about there's these bombs that's going to go off, and Batman isn't there to save them. Well, Batman shows up in a really cool fashion. He pretends to be the mayor, and it's like,
Are we doing spoilers or?
Oh yeah, let's say it right now. This is a spoiler-filled podcast.
Yep.
So thank you for reminding me. So there was a really cool scene where Batman shows up. He then defeats every single villain, and there's a joke where Joker says, who is done by Zach Galifianakis, and he did a great job for his version of the Joker. I liked him. I mean, he wasn't Mark Hamill, but he wasn't supposed to be.
No.
That's the issue that I don't want to go on another tangent, but like with Young Justice, I forget who voiced him, but for the most part, like if your character resembles too much to or isn't going to leave a mark of a different kind of Joker, then the voice has to carry it. So like the Joker from Batman Brave and the Bold worked with that character. Obviously Mark Hamill works for all the ones that he's done. Who did the Batman?
I have no idea. The Rastafarian
Joker, but he also voices Principal what's his name from American Dad?
Principal Lewis.
Oh my goodness, I cannot remember his name.
Oh, Michael,
oh shoot. I'm trying to look it up right now. But I don't know. So Zach Galifianakis, what he brought to his Joker was fun, was energized. It was. I've heard a lot of people say, well, they're focusing on the gay aspect. Not so much. It was okay, yes, they were in a sense, but it was more like the Batman needs the Joker without, he's his greatest foe, and it was, a petty, like, you need me to be great, and I mean, it's like a lot like Death of the Family. That was the purpose of Death of the Family. He said, you need me to be great.
The guy you're talking about is Kevin Michael Richardson.
Thank you. Yeah, he does a lot of voice work out there. But with this Joker story, Joker is trying to prove that he is Batman's ultimate villain, ultimate nemesis, and Batman won't admit it. There's a scene where he says, "I'm not actually in the market for an arch enemy. You're not the only person I'm fighting right now. I fight around."
No, he was like, Joker's like, I'm your greatest villain, or you're about to be beaten by your greatest villain, or something like that. He's like, Superman. He's like, Superman's not a bad guy.
Bane,
and he goes down this list. And he's like, no, me. He's like, you're not my arch nemesis. He's like, what? Like, if I had to say, I'm just fighting around, and pretty much
fighting a couple different people. So it was overall really funny, and the opening scene is just Batman beating the crap out of people. I mean, we saw, like we mentioned before, Condiment King, which is the big standout. Not standout, but like it was in the trailer. Yeah, good reference. Harley Quinn is in it. I liked the use of this Harley Quinn more than I liked her in the Suicide Squad. Two-Face was in it. Mr. Freeze was in it. There was a cool Clayface that in Lego fashion you see him like dripping with pieces. Killer Moth, Penguin, all the classic Poison Ivy, all the classic villains were in there. Even some of like the Batman, those like women that wore all red and like the kabuki masks and the claws, they were in it. Penguins.
Penguins
There's
were
a
in
scene
it.
where Batman was fighting Poison Ivy and he kept picking up penguins to kiss her and they were getting poisoned. Yeah, so it was cute. So this whole like opening sequence is really fun. It's Batman singing this like heavy metal rap that he wrote and it's, Lego movie fashion, having fun. Darkness, I'm the best, I'm Batman. And it was a fun time. And then it goes to the scene that we've seen in the trailers. He goes back to the Wayne Manor, which is Wayne Island. Wayne Manor Island. And he eats...
just Wayne Island.
Okay, Wayne Island. And he's eating lobster and he's enjoying it by himself. This is where I've heard people complain where they were like, there was a lot of like slow moments in this movie.
Yes. There are moments in this film that it kind of drags.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that.
Like the only scene that felt it was supposed to drag, but I liked it was when he was heating up the lobster.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and they're actually like stayed on him while it was heating up. I thought that was funny.
For the total 2 minutes.
Yeah.
He's heating up lobster and it takes 2 minutes, and we sat there and watched him watch it for 2 minutes, and it was funny.
Right.
And then he goes into his home theater and he's trying to get to like whatever the movie setting is, and he hits the
wrong one.
Yeah, kind of component or HD1, HD2, and he's going the wrong one because we all do that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I only use my HD2 on my TV, but I keep going to HD1 every single time. So that's funny. And then we cut to Alfred, or no, he looks at his parents' portraits, and then actually is a tender
selfie.
moment.
It's a selfie.
A selfie, yeah. But it's a tender moment where he says, "Hey, Mom and Dad, I saved the city again. You guys will be proud." Alfred shows up, and we've seen this scene in the trailer. He punches Alfred and does the whole like "Don't sneak up on me." But the whole overarching thing is that Batman is afraid of losing people
And letting people in.
but because he would ultimately lose them.
Right.
So the movie goes on. He's invited to a retirement party for Commissioner Gordon, who, by the way, is black. Not black, but brown. Because, I mean, obviously Barbara Gordon's brown because they based her off of Rosario
Dawson.
Rosario. It's not Rosario. It's Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson.
And because Rosario is Barbara Gordon,
Yep.
who does become Batgirl. It's Batgirl, but she makes a point of saying like, "You call me Batgirl, I get to call you Batboy."
Right.
So Bruce Wayne's at this party. He sees her. He's falling in love with her. He's approached by an orphan named
Richard Grayson.
Richard Grayson. And so there are a lot of jokes in this movie. The one that stands out, and like if you've not seen this movie yet, don't listen to this podcast. But come back to it after you've watched it. But this is my favorite joke in the whole movie, and he says, "My name is Richard Grayson, but the kids at the orphanage call me Dick." And then Batman goes, or Bruce Wayne's walking around, and goes, "Oh, kids can be cruel." And everyone in the theater started to die. And I was like, "Oh my god, they made a dick joke during Lego Batman." So yeah, that happened. That was really funny. And then he says, "Okay, well, Mr. Wayne, what would you say is the best way to get adopted? Because you're like the most legendary orphan of all time." And Bruce kind of gives him this list, and he's like, "Are you in the market for an orphan?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, totally." Because he's trying to cough the kid off.
And he's completely distracted, so he's just saying yes to everything.
Yeah. And so finally it goes on, and Batman, or the Joker shows up with all the villains. They surrender, and so all the Gotham villains get locked up. Batman doesn't have anything to do anymore, and he spends like a week trying to figure out what the Joker's planning. And then we come to find out that he actually did adopt the orphan, and Dick Grayson has been wandering around Wayne Manor for a week by himself.
Yep.
And then there's a lot of Alfred interaction. Alfred locks the Batcave. So
Unlocks.
Or unlocks, thank you.
And lets him in.
Yeah, and very much like the original Batman movies, where Alfred kept opening up the Batcave to
Everybody.
yeah, Vicky Vale, Dick Grayson, Barbara Gordon, like just
No,
like
she
in
wasn't
those
Barbara
classic.
Gordon. She was Barbara something.
Oh, it was yeah, you're
Because
right.
she's Alfred's niece.
Yeah, I forget what her name was. It was
Who
Barbara
ca-
something.
Who cares?
Barbara Pennyworth.
No, she was just, I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah.
Move on.
Okay. So movie moves on. Batman decides that, or no, the Joker like is watching the news and sees that that he used the Phantom Zone. Now, the whole overall plot of this movie, I think, will be a comic book eventually, where the Joker breaks into the Phantom Zone. So the Joker is trying to get Batman to lock him in the Phantom Zone. And Batman ends up breaking into the Fortress of Solitude, finds out that the Justice League is having a party without him, and that people generally don't like Batman.
Because he's a downer.
Yeah, well, he's kind of a jerk.
He's an arrogant jerk who's also a downer.
Okay. And so him and Dick Grayson, who now takes the name of Robin, who takes the Rastafarian Batman costume and then modifies it so that he can be Robin, and even has his own little theme song. It's Fly, Robin, Fly.
Yep.
I can't stand you. But so they break in, they steal the Phantom Zone gun. They go out and they break into Arkham. They send the Joker into the Phantom Zone. They get locked up in Arkham because they refuse to help the police, and they're more dangerous on their own than they are.
And they essentially they imprison Joker somewhere without being like law-abiding officers.
Yeah, and so, but one thing they really point out, Barbara Gordon is like, listen, you're just a guy dressed like a bat beating up poor people. Like, I think that's a direct quote from her.
That's what she
and
said.
they're really pointing out the fact that Batman's not stable. And
also the fact that he keeps fighting crime, but none of them are locked up.
Yeah,
all the criminals are still
thing.
free.
In this Batman universe, people don't get locked up. They just get away. So what is the point of Arkham? Arkham just was built there, and they haven't filled it up yet. And they're like, yes, we finally have something to do. So Joker goes to the Phantom Zone, and there he teams up with other franchise characters: Gremlins, Voldemort, King Kong, the Kraken, those weird robot things from Doctor Who, which they reference, and they go, I think at one point he says, yeah, and those evil robot things, ask your nerd friends.
Yeah, and Sauron, the blinking eye.
Sauron,
from, yeah, from Lord of the Rings.
So with that, Joker then finds a way to break out of the Phantom Zone. Honestly, I forget how he did it. I forget how he broke out, but he opens up a wormhole, and then all the super bad villains, flood from the sky and attack the city. And I mean, they make quick work and destroy things. And this is the action sequence that was really cool, because they can't stop them. And then finally, Barbara Gordon comes and releases Batman and Robin, and they go and they take on the villains. And it's a really cool scene because it's once again a Batman to the rescue. Batman saved the day because he's awesome and unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the best action sequence where I was like kind of like at the edge of my seat, thinking, okay, here we go. This is the big scene. Robin falls. He has to choose between Robin and Alfred. Alfred puts on an old classic 66 Batman costume, and he fights alongside them. Barbara Gordon joins the team, so it's the Batman, Robin, Alfred, and then Barbara Gordon are all teaming up to take on the Phantom Zone bad guys, led by the Joker. And so there's this big scene. There's a lot of heart because Batman like insults Alfred, but then has to go after him because it's like, that's my father figure. And like I said, with nostalgia, everything I usually say I want from a Batman movie and don't get. So like when you go to a Batman, you're like, oh, well, it could have done this, or they could have had this. They hit all those points because they bring up almost everything in the franchise that they can possibly fit in. The whole Batman surrogate father figure, and then having to actually be a father to Robin or Dick Grayson, which they don't always talk about. It's father or brother that they kind of dance around. But in this, they call him Padre or Bat Padre, Bat Dad. He has all those different names for him.
And that didn't get old either.
It didn't get old? Or are you being sarcastic? I can't tell with your voice.
Sarcastic.
Okay, thank you. So they have this whole scene, and then Batman's learned to trust people. he goes and takes on Joker, who has now taken over the Batcave, and it's like, oh my gosh, Batman and Bruce Wayne share the same island. They're roommates.
And then turn Gotham or Wayne Island into an amusement park in a matter of,
They're Legos. He's a master builder.
I know.
Which they did bring up a lot, that Batman's a master builder.
Right.
So at least they've referenced something to the original Lego movie.
But no idea where it takes place in the timeline of Legos. Like if the Lego movie happened or this is a prequel.
This has happened. I would assume it happens after. From there, we're pausing because my puppy just had surgery, and so she's trying to get comfortable, and we're freaking out about her her poor little paws. All right, she's comfortable. We can ignore her now. So Batman goes and takes on the Joker. He loses. He gets shot into the Phantom Zone, and then he makes a deal with the Phantom Zone jailer that he can catch all the villains
in 24 hours.
In 24 hours, and she says all of the villains because she's defined that Batman is a villain. He wears all black. He is dark. He even has a name that sounds like a villain, and the things he does, he's kind of a jerk and does cruel things to people, so he qualifies as a villain. And when all the villains get brought back, he has to be one of them. So the whole second to last fight sequence is Batman. No, what was this? This was because there were like 3 big battle sequences, right? There was the first one in the beginning of the movie. There was the one on the plane, and then there's this one where Batman then teams up with
the Joker.
He teams up with all the other villains to take down Joker and the other villains.
Right.
And that I could live without. But he does make a reference to, we're going to get all the villains together and make a team. What a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Throwing a little bit of shade at the Suicide Squad. So that happens, then Joker successfully destroys the city. It's splitting apart, and to save the day, all the Lego people take off their heads or their hair and their hats, and they stack on top of each other to pull together the city. Which I have to remember, this is a kids movie. It's not just for me.
Not even a kids movie. It's essentially we have to buy that this was constructed by the kid, so
yeah,
we had kind of to play by his
continuity
law.
Of this kid. So he goes through and does all this junk. They pull together. Him and Joker have a moment where he's like, "You are my greatest villain. If I have no city, I have no way to fight you." And then the two of them lock hands and they pull together the city piece by piece. I could live without this whole scene. But Batman ends up catching all the villains from the Phantom Zone, locks them up. Then he does his big goodbyes to people. He says goodbye to Robin. He says goodbye to Batgirl and Alfred, and then he floats up into the sky. And then he hits the Phantom Zone wall, and then dunk, and then he falls back down, and you find out, oh, he's not a villain anymore. Very Vegeta-like from Dragon Ball Z, when Vegeta was a villain, and all of a sudden he wasn't. And then the movie ends with him making food for Alfred, Barbara, and all of them.
And making them all personal bat signals.
He made a bat signal for everybody, even the villains.
Which are just...
It's still a kid's movie.
No, they're all bat signals modified for them, like
in One Piece when everyone has a flag that resembles Luffy's flag. Yeah. Oh, lots of references. But overall, it was a great movie. Loved it. What were your overall thoughts? Since we just kind of gave a little bit of a play-by-play of what happened in the movie.
All right. So, here's my thing. You know how we always complain, or not I don't complain this, but some people complain, now that we have a larger universe, why, if one thing is happening in one movie, why doesn't another superhero show up to help? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Batman steals the Phantom Zone gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a giant portal opens up above Gotham, which usually everyone complains about in a superhero movie, but this one gets a pass because. And so there's a giant portal in the sky, and literally all the villains that were in the Phantom Zone that Superman should be kind of involved with. No one from the Justice League, and we saw the Justice League in the movie too.
They're too busy partying.
No one shows up. That's something I wanted to point out. Because I know it's a Batman movie, but still, you don't bring up every Justice League member, even Black Vulcan, Apache Chief, and
It was all the Justice Friends.
Samurai, I think his name was. Yeah, they brought in
Samurai.
everyone. Oh, and the Wonder Twins, and then the Wonder Dog, and the two teenagers from like the first season of Super Friends.
Yeah, it was. I forget what their names are. It was like
Me
Betty and Frank. They were in Young Justice too.
Yeah, so that was a thing, and no one showed up to help Batman. Because, like, I mean, come on, they didn't even say like, "Hey, call the Justice League." So that was a glaring thing that I saw. Another was I did not like the fact that all the villains in the Phantom Zone were from other franchises.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that since they were digging really deep into Batman mythos for a villain wise,
Yeah.
I feel like they could have come up with something just a little bit more original, or even making some of the lesser known villains more of a threat.
Yeah.
Like maybe they found a way to make Condiment King more deadly. Like maybe adding like instead of ketchup and mustard, it's like lava and acid. I don't know, just something like something that would just
I
been.
get what you're saying. I
funny or
like
cute.
the fact that they made it a. I wish they kept the villains locked up, but I liked the whole. Yeah, we're gonna take on other people. It's Lego, so they're trying to sell more.
I know,
Lego
I know.
things.
But you'd also you have to imagine like so in the Lego movie they have their own world, right? You had Western World, you had Sea World. I don't know. Anyway, so I would just have thought that in Batman world in Gotham they would have tried, or at least no, not Gotham, DC. I would have thought they would have tried to kept it in not even just Batman's realm, but like in the DC realm. Something just a tad bit more. And also, how Superman said he locked up General Zod. How come General Zod didn't like show up either?
Yeah.
that was so. That's something.
Well, they do mention Zod. That's interesting.
Yeah, and the fact that they go into the Phantom Zone and there's not even a Superman villain. There's just other characters from
Kraken and King Kong, which
Yeah.
are multiple pieces. Yeah.
So another thing, I think you mentioned it earlier. When it lags and drags, bad. It kind of felt like someone was grabbing me by the ankles and was pulling me.
Yeah.
So like there are a lot of jokes that kind of I kind of got tired of the jokes, like him trying to figure out what to call him, like, "Hey, Dad, Padre," all these other stuff. It's like we got it. It's
See, I didn't have issues with that like you did. My only issue was the fight sequence where all the villains teamed up and weren't bad guys anymore, and I didn't like the very very end song.
no,
And they try to replace "Everything is awesome, everything is cool" that whole
which
song.
is not.
They made a new one and it wasn't good.
It's not catchy at all.
I couldn't tell you what it was about. I can't
Me
tell you the
neither.
lyrics of it. It's like 3 words.
Another thing, I don't know. I know it wasn't. It was only for a little part of the movie, but I don't know what it is about animated Batman that they're trying to really like. They're trying to make. Oh yeah, Batman and Barbara Gordon. That's a thing.
But they were.
In the cartoons though.
And other versions.
It all started with what's it called? Batman or the New Adventures of Batman or whatever.
Which is a form of Batman history.
I say in animated. I'm
Okay.
not saying in comics. I'm
Okay.
saying animated. So
Okay.
it's just kind of weird that they keep trying to like push this whole, even though like, oh yeah, Batman and Batgirl, but it's like, but wait, she's like Nightwing's age and she dated Nightwing, like while he was living with Bruce. So it's just kind of it's just more weird when you really try to think about it. It's like your adopted father dating your girlfriend after you guys break up.
Well, when you look at the animated series, and we're gonna go down this rabbit hole real quick, that Batman and Bruce were like brothers.
Batman and
He was
Bruce?
older.
Batman and Bruce.
Sorry, that Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson were not as far away in age as we thought.
No, he was a kid. Remember the episode when you see Robin's history? He picks him up when he's a child.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Batman at that point was only. You know what? Stop trying to nitpick. It's fine. This is Batman lore. It's Lego Batman. Let them fall in love where they want to fall in love. Goodness gracious.
Just saying.
So okay, let's wrap.
A few more things.
A few more.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't really like how they made Commissioner Gordon like a total
Push the
Batman
button.
bitch. He was just like,
Push the button.
he was just like, hey, like, remember when the villains were attacking? Barbara's like, come on, let's do it. He's like, wait, what are you doing? Batman. And he's like pushing the button, like, just wait for Batman. It's like, come on, even Commissioner Gordon like tried. He called Batman for everything, but at least he tried.
There was a sign that, as you said, for everything. There was a sign when they left, or when Batman had a crowd cheering him on. It said "Batman Forever."
Right.
And that was funny.
Things I did like, though. I did like the fact that they did make a reference to a lot of the old Batman movies, where they said like, hey, you're going through depression. You did that thing in 2012, and then you did that thing in 2008 and 2006, and it just went through like
All the Batman movies,
Yeah.
but a lot of them had Lego themed.
until you got to the bat nipples, and it was actually George Clooney. So it was funny. There were just a lot. I mean, the movie's almost, if you look at it from the fact that the Lego movies are controlled by this kid, it kind of almost becomes uncritical. It's uncritical, which or something along the lines of you almost can't criticize the movie because it is told from the mindset of this kid. But in all honesty, I hated the ending. Like, I really hated it when they all came.
They had to pull themselves together.
Yeah, I thought that was
I
just
didn't care for that.
beyond weird. And then as soon as Batman and Joker came together, just went zoop, back together, fixed. No, I mean, they didn't even put pieces to like fill up the cracks. They just came together. Again, it's not just a kid movie; it's told by a kid, so you kind of have to look at it from that point of view. But again, I like the movie. I just there's just some issues, but I had fun. I laughed.
Yeah, there's easy little like movie issues, or not movie issues, but like my personal opinion issues. Not like there was something wrong with the movie or a person portrayed something wrong. I mean, it was faithful to the Lego model. So, I mean, I would still almost argue this is the best Batman on screen movie we've had in a while. Since Dark Knight, I would say.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care for Dark Knight Rises. And I guess Dark Knight Rises and then Batman v Superman, I thought this was better than Batman v Superman. I enjoyed it more.
If you're talking about the whole movie, then but I think I liked Ben Affleck's version of Batman more.
I know, okay, but I get that.
I know. I'm just saying,
which one did you enjoy more?
Well, I guess Lego Batman because it's shorter and I guess it's more positive than Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I guess Lego Batman.
Okay.
I mean, what's more enjoyable, Singing in the Rain or Requiem for a Dream? I mean, one is drastically darker than the other.
Yeah, but they're not based on the same characters.
Yes.
So overall, what would you give this? Would you give Lego Batman out of 5 tokens?
I'd give it about.
Don't break the tokens in half. Okay, fine, in half, but not like 0.256.
I don't do that. Well, originally I was gonna say 3.9, but I guess if I would round it up, I would give it a 4 out of 5 tokens.
4 out of 5. Okay. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. 4.5 tokens out of 5. 4.5 out of 5. Because I like this movie. I'm not sure. I'm borderline if I liked it as much as the original Lego movie.
I like the Lego movie more. Until the ending when you realize it's all controlled by a kid, that's when it got weird.
That was one of my more favorite parts. But with this movie, just this is kind of off the topic, we saw a lot of trailers for it. Not trailers for it, but a lot of trailers during while we were waiting for the movie to start. One of which was Lego Ninjago. So a third Lego movie is coming out, and it looks good. I know there's a TV show Lego Ninjago, but I never paid attention to it. And it looked funny. It looked really, really funny.
Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be kind of. I don't know how they're going to do it because I don't know a whole lot just from the trailers I've ever seen of Ninjago. This is like later in the seasons, like series overall. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's going to be like, the audience isn't going to get that because they didn't watch the show. So I don't know how that's going to turn out.
Yeah, but the action sequence that we saw in that trailer looked really cool. We also saw the trailer for Despicable Me 3. That looks really good. Gifted with Chris Evans. That looks really good. And then we saw the trailer for Nut Job 2.
Nope.
That's gonna happen. I think that was it. There was another trailer that didn't really stand out to me, but yeah. So Lego seems to know what they're doing right now. Maybe DC should focus on what I don't know. They know how to make movies. They know how to make good, decent, fun movies.
It's Legos. Of
I
course,
know.
it's gonna be fun.
We didn't always think that. We originally thought it was gonna be dumb. The first Lego movie, we were like, "This is gonna be stupid."
Yeah. Well.
And it worked.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
All right, folks. Well, now that I just put Addison in the corner. Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, folks. So if you want to check us out on the social media, you can check us out at token_nerd. That's on Twitter and Instagram, and tokennerd00 on Facebook. You can shoot us an email if you have any questions that you want us to read on the podcast at tokennerdpodcast.gmail.com. Or not dot. It's tokennerd@gmail.com. You can also check out Addison here at The Real Film Geeks. Or Film Geeks or Geek? Geeks on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
All right. Do you have Facebook going yet? Nope. Well, so just Twitter and Instagram. You can also check out our sponsors, TenaciousToys.com. We actually just finished up our Token Bat. I think it was Token Bat 17 giveaway, which we give away an X-ray figure of Batman, and that was really cool. So we actually have that one already finished, and we're planning the next giveaway coming up in the coming weeks. I'm trying to think what else we got going on. You can check us out at Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube. Token Nerd that we're listening there. So, folks, as always, I'm Anthony.
I'm Addison Lee.
Stay spicy, my friends.
Hey everyone, this is Travis Likens from Token Nerd Podcast, and I'm here today to tell you something about sponsorship. That's right, Token Nerd now has a sponsor. The fine folks at TenaciousToys.com, your source for designer toys, pop vinyl, original art, and more, are now our sponsor. And guess what? As a part of that, you can get 10% off your next order at TenaciousToys.com by entering the code TOKEN10 at checkout. That's right, 10% off. And not only are they giving you this code, they're also going to be sponsoring many of our Token Nerd giveaways in the next coming months. So make sure to follow us at token_nerd on Instagram to catch our latest giveaways.